waiting for the winter solstice.
It's coming right
Is
up.
that coming right up? Okay, good. I just threw that out there. I didn't know when it was.
Oh.
Chris!
Heath,
Ho, ho, ho.
and a Merry Christmas to you.
I should have saved that for next episode because
Yeah, that would have been more appropriate.
it's going to debut Christmas Eve-ish.
Well, it's good to make the most of the holiday season while it's here. Because I enjoy it.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to whip out a present. I wasn't ready because I haven't gotten you anything.
That's fine. How are you?
I'm fine. I got my hands dirty, building that couch.
Yeah, you said it took 5 hours today?
Yes.
That's a lot of elbow grease you had to expend.
Lots of cushions getting packed. But I'm good. Now that I have that couch, I can play twice as many games on it.
Yeah, that's right. The more of your body surface area that is reclining, the more games you play.
True. Which is why the hardest game players play in sensory deprivation tanks.
Okay.
That's true. That's my Wikipedia lie of the week.
Sure. Ask me how I'm doing.
Oh, how you doing, Chris?
I'm great. I've started a new job since last we recorded.
Right.
Yeah, so still a software engineer, but I've changed industries doing totally different stuff. Not the gaming industry, it's worth noting, in case listeners were wondering.
No, it's missiles that target orphans.
I really hope that's not the case.
You work for just the plastic that gets caught around the seal's necks.
Oh, dear.
The soda can.
Rings, yeah. No, it's an exciting company to be working for.
You work for just the glitter that's non-biodegradable.
You have a lot of nefarious ideas of what I do for a living, don't you, Heath? So what is this show?
This is Mobius Tubes, everyone's favorite video game podcast that only talks about video games and nothing else. Did you hear that they cracked the Zodiac Killer's cipher?
No.
Yeah, the cipher that he sent to the San Francisco Police Department 51 years ago, they finally cracked it.
What does it say?
It just says, never catch me, lol.
Okay.
I was also disappointed because Bailey, known serial killer lover, sent me that text with the caption, quote, "This is huge," unquote. And I went and looked it up on my own device, and I found that the message was mostly like, "You'll never find me. I hope you're enjoying trying to find me."
Just things a serial killer would say.
Imagine if we discovered a new cave painting that was even more million years old than the other cave painting, but it was still just poo-poo stick figure nothing.
Right, it's just a lot older.
It's just way older.
But it's more of the same.
Yeah.
I see.
But this is Mobius Tubes. We only talk about video games.
Yes, and it's episode 56.
I thought so.
Being recorded on December 11th, 2020, which means we are living in a post-cyberpunk, post-Game Awards world.
Yes. Happy Cyberpunk Day, everyone.
Unless you're playing on an Xbox One or a PS4, then you're probably not having a good time.
Why, are they broken?
It looks rough, man. Have you seen any videos? It's like Vaseline is smeared all over the screen. And you know how sometimes when you load into a game, you wait for the textures to pop in?
Yeah.
What if the textures just never popped in?
What if you just kept waiting?
Yeah, it looks like that.
I don't believe this. Now I gotta see a screenshot or anything.
Just pop over to YouTube.
I see what you mean.
All right, maybe I was a little too harsh.
Yeah. I also, but you're the type of guy that's gonna wait until he gets his space GPU
Before I ever touch it, yeah. Right. Okay, that was a long meandering opening. We should dive into our usual formula.
So, Chris.
Hey.
What have you been playing?
What have I been playing? 2 things I've been playing, Heath. So we now know the results of the 2020 Game Awards predictions. Later in the news, we'll cover the winner and stuff.
Ah, yes.
But we did the same thing last year, and I won. But just to make things kind of fun, even though I won, I was still required to play one of the games you recommended. I had the luxury of choosing to play sometime in 2020. I could have played the Simulation Planet Zoo game.
Yeah.
I could have played Fallout 4 from Bethesda, or I could have played this small indie called The Fall.
Yeah.
And I have since satisfied the criteria of the bet. Right at the nick of time, it's December. I've played through one of the 3 games.
Planet Zoo.
No. I played The Fall.
Yeah. Great. All right. Oh, boy.
I'm guessing you didn't expect me to pick this one.
I was crossing my fingers.
Okay.
If you listen back to that episode, I was like, oh, I hope he plays The Fall.
So, The Fall, it's a very small indie game. Came out in 2014, so it's old but not ancient. I played it over the course of an evening and the following day. Relatively short game. Took me like a hair over 4 hours to finish. And I don't completely regret playing this game because, and only because, now I get to come on this show, rake you over the coals, and interrogate you as to why you thought this game was worth investigating any further.
What?
This is the worst game I've played in years.
Chris.
This is not good. I don't recommend this to anyone in any context.
Not even like AI near automata.
All right, I'm gonna zoom out, tell people about this game, and then at the end, I have some alternative recommendations. If you like this game conceptually, don't pick up a controller and play it, though. Please don't. All right.
I almost had Bailey play it.
Don't do that to your girlfriend. She'll leave you.
She'll leave me.
The Fall is this 2D side-scrolling, mostly puzzle game with some light action elements, sci-fi horror game. Horror, like psychological horror, I'd say. It starts with you, a spaceman in a spacesuit, crash landing on an unknown planet. You don't know where you are. You're in a strange facility.
You're knocked unconscious even.
You are unconscious. The colonel, whoever is in the suit, he's in critical condition, not responding. But since it's in the future, your suit has an onboard AI called Arid, who pilots on and has a protocol just embedded in her software that if the pilot is unresponsive, she's going to seek out medical attention and try to save him.
Because she can, like, move the body of the suit.
Yeah, she has basically, like,
all
autopilot.
motor function.
All motor function. That's where you pick up the controller and you start playing, and you suddenly have to ask yourself, are they going for, like, thematics here? Because, man, these controls really are robotic. It is moving around in this game, jumping, crouching, all of the kind of movement you do is so... The word that comes to mind is stiff. What this game feels like to move around in, it feels like you're playing a browser-based Flash game from 2008. That's what it feels like. So not high praise, not at all.
But at least the story was good.
We'll get to the story. So moving around...
The walking is abysmal.
It's the worst game feel I felt.
But good thing the shooting is on par.
So this game has some light combat to it. It's point-and-click shooting. Couldn't be more rudimentary. Man, it has a cover system.
That was finicky.
But it is so finicky. And also, at some point, you get cloaking, which is basically the same thing as being in cover, but you can just cloak anywhere. So why bother with putting cover when you can cloak anywhere? And yeah, I was having trouble snapping to things in the environment. It was like trial and error. Can I even get behind cover? Just the hitboxes were not cooperating.
It just needs some polish, baby.
There's no ammo consideration. There's no...
Yeah, there's like energy, right?
It is just the amount of time that happens between each shot you can take.
Okay.
It's like 1 second. So you just shoot robots and stuff. It just feels like attrition because enemies walk up, you shoot, hide behind cover until they take their shot, and then you pop back out and you shoot. And it could not be simpler.
Oh.
Thankfully, that combat segment maybe only takes up like 15% of the game. Most of the time, you are puzzle solving in some really outdated puzzle design. It is what I would call point-and-click puzzle solving, kind of reminiscent of point-and-click adventure games from the 90s. And unfortunately, it falls prey to some of the same like obtuse logic you needed to solve like early Secret of Monkey Island games. So you are finding items in the environment that you will then bring to other parts of the environment and then randomly pick every item one by one out of your inventory and try to interact with whatever's blocking your progress until you find the right one.
Well, if you have to brute force it, yeah.
And unfortunately, they weren't designed very intuitively, so you'll find yourself brute forcing things often. I often had to look up the solutions to what kind of item interactions they wanted me to do. And whenever I did look it up, I never felt like, oh, I should have got that. It was like, what were they thinking? That's stupid. Not to mention the menus are cumbersome. Every time you want to interact with something in the environment, it brings up three options. You can just back out. You can interact, which then opens up a sub-menu of all the items you have. Or you can network with something. Guess what, Heath? Even though that option is taking up real estate on your screen every time you select an item, you almost never network with something. You network with something fewer than 5 times in the game, but that option is always just in your way, no matter what you click on. And I feel like it's not even like you're interacting with things that are that complex. The fact that there are multiple layers to the submenus every time you want to click on something, it's just
cumbersome.
It's very cumbersome and too time consuming. Everything about the way you interact with this game is bad. But we can get into its very few redeeming qualities, which mainly have to do with the plot. But even the plot is nowhere near good enough to justify playing this game.
What is it? Just what do you mean? It was such a good plot. I liked it.
So you'll find a couple characters to interact with in this abandoned facility. It is very sci-fi tropey. There is an administrator AI you talk to who has been left alone in isolation for decades, and he's gained some level of sentience. He's talking in like a very casual, like playful manner like humans would.
A very Nathan Fillion.
Yeah, which contrasts starkly with your player character, Arid.
I must save the commander.
Who is very robotic.
Yeah.
This administrator guy, he has a fun line. He's like, at one point, your character questions him, why are you talking like the humans? And then the administrator, he says, I realized the more you sound like them, the more they treat you like one of their own.
Hey.
I thought that was interesting. That was maybe the one line I remember out of this game. You've got this caretaker guy who's a sketchy figure. He's trying to repurpose you because initially when you run into him, he's questioning you about what your function is. And you try to tell him, I'm safeguarding my pilot who's unconscious in my suit. But since the pilot couldn't verify that, the caretaker thinks you're lying and says you're defective, and he's kind of the main antagonist of the game.
Yeah.
He's trying to basically scrap you. And then there's the one part of the game I almost enjoyed was the middle section, which is this little subplot about you trying to pass certification to be repurposed as like a domestic droid instead of a military one.
Yeah.
You're trying to like care for this fictional cardboard family. And at one point, you have to do the grocery shopping. These are light spoilers coming. Any enjoyment there is to be had in this game is in this conversation I'm having right now. So don't play it. Just listen to this.
Yeah, just listen to this conversation.
The dad sends you up to the grocery store to secure protein for his kid. And you go to the grocery store. Decades have passed since any food has been at this location.
Right, which was previously stocked for training purposes.
Right.
But since the facility is defunct, there's no
food to be had.
So what do you have to... How are you going to pass this the trial?
Yes, this running theme is you find a hack to clear every trial. And for this one... You find a decaying corpse and a giant slug is eating it. You scare the slug away and grab the head and bring this decaying head back to the family dinner table, plop it down. The scanner reads it, verifies there's some protein on the table, and says, good job. And then the pre-recorded dad audio says, eat up, Jimmy. And then the son is like, can't wait. So there's some dark humor that's kind of fun. There are some there's like, you have to like care for a crying baby. Basically, you find a way to suck the baby's body out of the room so that the noise detector doesn't pick up the crying anymore. Fun things like that. Even at the end, you enter a social function and there is a intoxicated guest, and you have to make conversation with him. And the guy's like, "What are you looking at?
Yeah.
You looking for trouble, you tin can? Think you can take me?" And since at this point in the game, your programming hasn't been overridden to allow you to lie or manipulate the truth, you just very matter-of-factly say, like, "I could dismember you in 2 seconds, sir."
Yeah.
And then you fail the test because you can't lie. So fun touches like that and interactions with the administrator guy are fine. The other thing holding it back is it really doesn't look good.
Oh, it's very dark.
It's dark. Some art assets look out of place compared to others. Some things are like surprisingly low res. I'm used to every game I play, regardless of its varying art style, I'm used to things looking pretty good these days.
Psh, Thomas was alone.
Is clean shapes. At least every part of Thomas Was Alone looks like it belongs in the same game. This looks like a bit of a hodgepodge. There is nothing that impressed me looking at it. It was all gray and dull and brown and bleh. Nothing to latch onto to keep me going in this very dark game. Which brings us basically to the end, the twist ending.
Yeah.
So if for some reason you don't want to know the ending, I guess skip ahead 30 seconds. But the twist ending is you reach the medical facility you're trying to get to. You get scanned for your biomaterial.
Let's see how injured the pilot is.
What shape is the kernel in?
Diagnostic ray. Beep, 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 beep. No vitals detected.
No vitals detected.
Oh no, he died.
Oh no, he died. I'm too late. And then Arid is kind of sad about that. But then she takes the helmet off and there's no one inside. There was no kernel that was unconscious. In fact, you were sent to this planet because you are, in fact, defective. The caretaker antagonist, he was right all along. In fact, there was one line from the administrator guy foreshadowing this when he says something along the lines of, no one who ends up here was ever sent here for the wrong reason. Or no one who was not supposed to arrive here ever did, or something like that. Alluding to the fact that, there is something wrong with your programming. So maybe you malfunctioned on a military expedition and you were sent here in a trash heap. And there was no kernel. You were just an empty shell this whole game. And it's tackling themes of sentience and free will, I guess. The one little cool thing, how they contextualize you unlocking new abilities like the cloaking and firing your gun faster, or even having the rights to discharge your weapon in the first place. You have to be put in a situation that warrants you getting those privileges granted to you. So you need to...
You can't use your weapon unless your pilot's in danger.
Right. Yeah, so you only get access to those privileges at critical moments, which then forces you to do some puzzle solving where you purposely put yourself in the path of danger in order to get granted new abilities.
Isn't that awesome?
And then the caretaker was saying how since you're doing that, you're clearly defective, but then your AI Arid is trying to justify it, saying I had to jump in the line of fire in order to advance or something like that.
Yeah.
So that's fine and all. If you like the sound of a game tackling those themes, though, it's not like there aren't much better games that exist that do that. So a game from 1 year earlier, I don't hear people talk about this one too often. It's called The Swapper. It actually looks a lot like this game. It's a side-scrolling puzzle game. It feels better to play. It looks better. And it's tackling similar themes. And it actually has really clever puzzles. It's not trial and error, brute force, try to find the right item in your inventory. No, it's
This looks identical.
I know. At first I thought, wait, didn't I play this game? And no. So I was thinking of The Swapper initially, not The Fall. I recommend The Swapper. I think this is another game with a twist at the very end, but I think this twist lands a lot better. The Swapper is just better The Fall. I can't find one aspect of The Fall that I prefer to The Swapper.
Even when the Swapper is falling, it looks better.
Yeah. So the fact that the Swapper exists just takes all the wind out of the sails of The Fall. Also, I feel like Soma would be a similar substitute for this type of game. By Frictional, another horror type game. This one's first person, also puzzly, but Soma has a way more interesting story and much better production values. That game's pretty. So
pretty barnacle-y, like what, the fluorescent coral is doing you a service?
Hey, at least there was a color other than black and gray.
Mm-hmm.
So if the fall sounded conceptually fun to you, try these other recommendations of mine. Ultimately, this was not a very good game. I'd give it a 4 out of 10.
Oh, okay.
I'm curious, Heath, what elevated the reputation of this game in your mind?
I watched a playthrough of it.
Okay.
And I was able to skip. I was able to not put my hands on it and only remember the parts that were hype.
I see. Yeah, I could almost see myself maybe enjoying it if I interacted with it that way.
Damn.
Yeah, it was not good. But I'd played another game that I enjoyed significantly more. And I'm still in the middle of it, but I can transition to it now if you want me to.
Yeah.
All right. I've been playing Luigi's Mansion 3.
Ooh.
I know, right? The Switch exclusive from last year. I've never played a Luigi's Mansion game before, but I've heard this is like the best in the franchise, so
really,
why not play this one?
Oh.
All right. Just in case you don't know, this is a Nintendo first-party game where you play as Luigi, brother to Mario.
Yeah.
And you get invited to this sunshiny getaway resort hotel for a fun vacation with your pals, like Peach and the Toads and Mario. But then there's a bait and switch. Guess what? King Boo set a trap for you. And
it's actually a horrifying hotel.
Infested with ghosts, and all your pals have been entombed in paintings that you need to free them from. And then you're off exploring all the many different floors of this hotel. And you've got your iconic vacuum cleaner so you can suck up the ghosts, Ghostbuster style. And it's a very charming, lighthearted affair.
Now, the ghosts are these blobby-looking things? Because I remember the first Luigi's Mansion, they looked like classic Mario character enemies, but ghostly.
Okay.
And then the sequel to Luigi's Mansion was developed by a different team, and they just did ectoplasm green nothings.
Okay.
Which was kind of a letdown. But this Luigi's Mansion 3 is by the same people as the sequel.
Ooh, good question. I have no idea.
And I think they've continued on with the kind of ectoplasm-looking guys.
So, like, the most basic enemies you fight are just generic ghost. That's what they look like.
Yeah.
But a lot of them are dressed up and in, like, fun themed attire, depending on which wacky floor you're on. So they do get a little more inventive than just bedsheet ghost.
Yeah.
Let's talk about how this game looks. It is one of the better-looking Switch games I've played. It's very attractive. Environments are jam-packed with things to suck up. So, yeah, it's like a surprisingly physics-heavy game.
What, is there like a vase that's teetering and you gotta suck it over, kind of?
Yeah, there very little in every room you enter is bolted down. A lot of it is just going to fly around whenever you are blowing or sucking with your vacuum, which is fun. And the animation work, especially on Luigi and the Ghosts, is like surprisingly good. It's weird to say like, oh, Luigi is very emotive in this game, but he is. He has a shiver and like some jitters and some great facial expressions that just like paint the level of fear he's experiencing at any given time. It's weird to say the emotions of Luigi are well portrayed in this game, but they are. So good job on the animation stuff. Good job on these environments and set design. And the sucking feels great. Like they nailed the feel. It is very satisfying to like hover up all the stuff in the room.
Did you mean hoover up?
Hoover up all the stuff in the room. It takes a long time to get old. And there's a large component of the game which is collecting money. So there'll be gold coins, gold bars, dollar bills. Dollar bills are especially fun when they're like floating in the air and you suck those up.
Yeah.
The collection of money in this game is continuously satisfying. Unfortunately,
What, is there a progression system for the money?
This is my main criticism, I think. I think Luigi's Mansion 3 is a good game, but this is what stops me from calling it a great game. So I was like 5 hours into this game, amassing quite a bit of wealth, really getting encouraged to sweep every corner of a room. It's jam-packed with secret rooms and compartments in this game.
Yeah.
It gives me a very Dishonored-like satisfaction, because in Dishonored, you want to be very meticulous as you comb through a room to grab money to buy your bone charms and upgrades. And similarly, in Luigi's Mansion 3, you want to open every dresser drawer. You want to open up every armoire. You want to find the grates to send Luigi into to get to that secret room, because there's money in like every corner, under every seat cushion, there's money to be collected. And 5 hours in, I was like, can't wait to spend this stuff.
Yeah, you have thousands of coins.
At this point, I have tens of thousands of dollars.
Ooh.
And then
You could probably buy a whole bonus level for that.
yeah, so I go into Professor E. Gadd's lab, and I finally unlock the game's shop. Can't wait to spend this hoard of cash I've accumulated. There are 3 things in the shop.
Oh.
One is extra lives. Okay. This is a very easy game. I haven't died a single time. It's kind of redundant.
How do you die? Just ghosts touch you?
Yeah, Luigi has 99 health. Every time an enemy hits him, he'll lose like 10 or 20 hit points.
Okay.
And if you hit 0, you'll die. You can buy extra lives. Okay, don't really need those, considering this is basically a kid's game.
Yep.
And there is a map for like end game collectibles you can buy. Other than that, there's nothing.
Wait, sorry, you said extra lives, map, and then
there's like 2 end game collectible maps.
Oh, okay.
There's no money progression.
No progression. Yeah.
I've looked it up. What else is money for? It'll contribute to your high score at the end.
Oh.
Money is virtually useless.
That sucks.
They did such a good job making the accumulation of money fun. They never asked themselves what you're supposed to do with it.
Oh, a real Katamari Damacy.
What do you mean by that?
Oh, rolling the big ball is fun, but whether
Oh.
or not it's super big, that's just a high score type deal.
Right. And now
That wouldn't scratch your itch for unlocking systems and abilities.
it would not. So I was pretty engaged the opening hours. Like, I felt like I was building towards something with being so meticulous in each room I discovered. But now that I know it's basically an empty gesture, whether or not I go pick up that golden brick, it kind of sapped a lot of the satisfaction I was getting out of the game, which is a shame, because a lot of the puzzles and stuff are fun. It's just, I wish I was being more actively rewarded for it. Because this game is so ripe with secrets and things you can do off the beaten path, I just wish there was a bigger reason to engage with all that fun side stuff, because I don't want to just critical path the game and get to the credits as soon as possible. But now I kind of do. So that's the biggest shame about this game. And I could easily see how progression could have been built into it, even if it was simple things like Luigi gets more health, or he does more damage in combat, or he gets more abilities.
Or he can see cooler enemies.
Cooler enemies?
Well, doesn't the vacuum have a flashlight attachment?
It has a dark light attachment, which if you use the dark light, it will unveil previously invisible things in the environment.
Uh-huh.
That's actually my other criticism of the game. At certain times, you'll be playing the main game, not side activities, and my progression will come to a halt, and I won't be sure how to continue. Several times now, it has been I was missing an invisible item or object in the environment.
You needed only to flash your dark light
needed
behind this curtain.
Right. I needed to use the dark light to progress.
Yeah.
And my issue with that is that obstacle of needing to use the dark light comes up infrequently enough that I often forget it's a tool in my toolbox.
Yeah.
Like, you will go more than an hour without needing to use it.
Oh.
So I'll kind of forget about it. And then they also don't do the best job signposting to you where in the environment you should be flashing it. It's not always obvious that this is now a dark light section, which I suppose if they did make it super obvious, that would kind of take away from the secrecy of the hidden items. But it's annoying to like have to Google what I'm doing wrong and then realizing, oh, it was another invisible object I didn't know about. So that's happened like one too many times at this point to get on my nerves.
That's a shame.
But I'm being too negative. There is a lot to like in this game. As you get high, I'm on floor number 11 now. I'm nearing the end. Each floor has a totally different theme to it. And I won't spoil many of them, but there's like...
Ice.
I haven't seen Ice yet.
Oh, that's a go-to.
One floor is all movie themed. So it's like you're trying to help this director ghost film his magnum opus. And there's this multi-room puzzle that goes on that floor that requires like pretty complex amounts of interaction between 4 separate distinct rooms of you grabbing items from one, bringing it to another, that I found pretty interesting. So that puzzle was a highlight. There's a bunch of fun floors. There is a desert pyramid floor where the manipulation of sand, like blowing and sucking on sand, is like a major feature.
Oh, yeah.
You can like make valleys in the sand or make mounds to like climb things.
Oh.
That was pretty cool.
Baby's first goo gun.
Yeah, kind of like the goo gun and Prey. So they clearly do have a lot of creativity packed in this game. It's just the progression that was a bit of a letdown.
Yeah.
I'm liking it, and there is so much charm to it. The main method you have to like call your professor buddy is basically a virtual boy. Nintendo's old virtual reality really red
It's
thing.
the red, yeah.
It looks just like one. It's called the virtual boo in game. And they have fun callbacks to Nintendo history scattered throughout this game. Some of the movie posters in the movie floor were like old games of Nintendo's stuff. So yeah, if you're a Nintendo fan, this has a lot of fan service in it for you.
Oh, does it have the box art for Super Mario 3? Where Mario's flying with the Tanuki suit, but they mix it up and it's like a Dracula and he's got fangs.
I haven't seen that.
Yo, call me Shigeru.
I haven't seen that. I found a weird reference to Mario Super Strikers Charged.
The soccer
The
game?
soccer game?
The most haunted game.
On the Wii, the soccer game? Yeah, there's a reference to that in this game.
Yo, did you ever see one of the ads for that game?
I mean, I've played that game.
Okay.
Are you bringing up the ads because it's like weirdly serious?
No. You know how Nintendo ads sometimes had like really weird edge to them?
Okay, yeah.
There was like a full page magazine ad for Super Mario Strikers. It takes balls. And it was like a testicle joke where like the soccer balls are in a particularly droopy net.
Oh my God.
And just, yeah, like no avoiding it on the ad. And it's like, Nintendo, you're a family company.
Now I'm not so surprised that Sephiroth skewered Mario. But we're getting off topic. That was Luigi's Mansion 3. I'm going to finish it.
Does it have sequel bait like The Fall did?
I haven't finished it. What I will say, though, is enough time has gone by since we last recorded for me to have finished this game.
A lot of time has gone by.
And I haven't, just because it hasn't gripped me quite like I was hoping it would. I think I will finish it, but yeah, the money thing was a big letdown.
Mm-hmm.
But otherwise, I think it's pretty good. And that's everything I've been playing. I've been talking a long time, Heath. Would you like to take over?
You can take your break if you want.
Okay, sure. That sounds great. As I took my stretching break there, Heath, you sat there in silence and didn't move a muscle.
I was trying to think of some stuff.
Okay.
And I thought of one stuff.
What is that?
Well, we're talking about Luigi's Mansion 3, a horror game. I finished a horror game before Game Awards. I finished Carrion.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I finished that around the same, like shortly after I finished Pico Niku.
You doubled back.
I did double back, and I said I wasn't gonna, but I did.
Why is that?
I recalled a way to get past the puzzle that I was stuck on.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, what you were supposed to do was keep the guard alive through the parasitism ability and have him drain the water so you can flow through the grates all nematode style. Because remember, Carrion, this is the super scary, you're a biohazardy lab experiment that breaks out and tries to eat everybody.
Right.
What it does is after you go through all of the bases, the nuclear plant and the military lab and the testing facility, you double back to like the first containment jar that you busted out of 5 hours ago. And you pick up the last DNA upgrade, which allows you to adopt the form of a human being.
Oh.
And you walk out of the lab.
Oh.
To modern day Seattle, where there's hints of a quarantine going on.
Really?
And it's like, ooh, you escaped. Ah, what happens now? And it ends there. So I kind of liked that a little bit better.
That sounds like a cool ending.
For their first outing, I thought Carrion was just like a fine indie game. Needed a map.
There's no in-game map?
No map. If you get lost, fuck off. So I beat Carrion.
Okay.
Now we ought to get this out of the way. Party Pack 7.
Yeah.
We did some Jackbox.
I played it
fairly
with
recently.
you.
Yeah, we did. I just wanted to clarify because this is the first time I'll be mentioning Blather Round.
Yes.
A game that I think is sweet.
Yeah.
And you are lukewarm on.
I think it's good, not great.
Okay. Really quick, I liken it to trying to communicate with a person who does not share your language. You are both non-fluent. And you have to say things that you wouldn't normally say. And it gives everybody a noun, a person, place, or thing. And you pick one. And the fun of it is trying to piece together these descriptive sentences and work with the guesses that your teammates provide for you to narrow it down, and whoever guesses it correctly gets the points, and whoever has the most points at the end of the game wins.
Yeah.
I think it's so much fun because it works on a part of my brain I don't usually focus on. It works on that same part of your brain that Decrypto uses.
You think so?
Where you have to make these tangential connections. Same thing in Decrypto, where it's not enough that you know, like, the moon is made of cheese, and you can say, like, cheese, and get them to guess moon. You have to go to the most cavernous parts of your brain to come up with these very, like, nebulous and spider web connections. And I think Blather Rounds taps into that. Because if I give you the challenge of saying, in Blather Round, I keep saying it Blather Rounds. I keep pluralizing it. I don't know why. But if I give you a topic like asbestos,
yeah,
okay, and you have to formulate sentences, and it's also very like text to speech, right? So like an introductory sentence for asbestos would probably be like, "It is a scary white item," you know? It has the tiny spiky shard. Like if I said like risky building, you know what? You have to place the item in certain contexts, and
Yeah.
I find that riveting. On top of the fact that it's basically quiplash, your friends are coming up with these very generalized sentences. What did you type in very quickly?
Oh.
Where it'll be like, it is very similar to Spider-Man. And you go, Spider-Man 2. like it's just lots of
You
fun
can
to be had.
comedic.
Yeah. Yeah, tell the fans what's wrong with it.
Well, I will not sit idly by as you draw comparisons to my beloved Decrypto, because Decrypto is in a league of its own compared to this game.
No, but they're the same thing.
So
oh my God. This is like you being like, Dijon mustard is in a league of its own compared to regular mustard.
So Blather Round, or as I think of it, broken English charades. It is very charades.
Yeah.
You're assigned one word, you have to get people to guess, but instead of maneuvers and gestures, it gives you like multiple choice sentence structures to cobble together a description.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, it's like you're speaking a different language and trying to communicate with someone. Decrypto's great because there's no ceiling to the level of creativity you can inject into your hints. However risky you want to be, however tangential of a hint you want to make, you can go ahead and do that. you're railroaded into whatever the algorithm feeds you for however you construct that sentence. You're given a limited number of things to build your sentence from. Occasionally, I won't like anything I have, and then you're hosed. You can't inject your own creativity into it. It's just dictated to you. So that's my issue with Blather Round, the fact that the game presents you with a list of options to build your sentence, and you're just trying to choose the least bad option among them. That's the end of your input.
Right. I distinctly remember when you had a prompt that you
VCR.
did everything you could. Yeah, VCR.
It is the old rectangle.
It is so electronic. Yeah, you tried your best and we couldn't. We were saying like PlayStation, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Or like TV.
Okay, so you're at odds with its lack of agency, whereas I'm willing to sacrifice agency for accessibility. This is a game I can trick my not game friends into playing because it's just the phones.
Yeah.
Whereas Decrypto, I have to get an even number of pretty good people.
A pretty good people. Yeah, ideally you want an even number.
None of those Estonians. Sorry, what?
There's a longer rules explanation that comes with the crypto, but it pays off.
Yeah. Okay, fine. Yeah, you win. Okay, so we played that. We also played other games in Jackbox that needn't bear mentioning.
Sure.
That I was going to say, Party Pack 7. It's a middle of the road pack, despite my love of Blather Round. So that was that. I played A Way Out with Bailey.
Oh, okay. So let's sit down and dig into this.
What's the name of the developer? Horizon Light?
Haze Light.
Okay.
These guys made a favorite of mine, Brothers, A Tale of Two Sons. And this is the creative guy behind the studio is Joseph Ferris.
Yeah, we love that guy.
Who's the eccentric guy who hates the Oscars.
We love him. He's so fun. A Way Out is great.
Okay. Wow, I haven't heard this sentiment.
I had no guarantee whether or not Bailey would like to play a middle-aged Italian white prison convict.
Uh-huh.
But she took to it pretty well.
Okay.
Even though it's a third person and walking around and controlling the camera, it takes effort.
What's the pitch of this game?
Oh, you got to try to find a way out, and it's split-screen funsies.
Way out of prison.
Yeah.
And this game necessitates you play it with someone else.
Yeah.
You cannot play it by yourself.
No.
This game is only a two-player experience.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you played it locally, right?
Yeah, split screen, yeah.
On the same couch.
Yeah.
Okay.
Even if you were to play it not locally, it's still split screen.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, you have to see what the other player is doing.
Okay. That's pretty unique.
Yeah. So just for like a diorama, these two convicts, Vincent and Leo, are adjacent cellmates. They're not in each other's cells, right? But they're adjacent to each other. And one like through the bars, hey, you wanna get out of here? Yeah, I do want to get. This is how prison people talk. I do want to get out of here. Yes, indeed. And then they have a shiv, like a screwdriving, like a chop. And what they do is they dig a hole out from behind the toilet in their cells so that they can get out. But the guards are patrolling the walkway outside the cells, huh? So one of the inmates has to go to the bars and be like, hey, guard, how much money you make? Meanwhile, the guard is like, don't distract me, which gives the other person enough time who was previously chiseling away at the concrete behind the toilet to like cancel the animation and go back to the bed. And then guard's gone. My toilet's done. Here, you take the tool. Now I'm lookout. And it's like a really cool, you scratch my back, I scratch yours.
Okay.
And Bailey and I took to it very well.
Okay.
She could not have played in Until Dawn. Why is that? Because it's a lot of time-based and a lot of permadeath. If you fuck up a QTE in Until Dawn, it could very well mean the end of your character.
It could.
If you die in A Way Out,
yeah,
which Bailey did, we were both in the infirmary. And Leo was like, hey, that tool that I just described that you chopped the concrete behind the toilet, it's on the desk over there. You distract the nurse, I'm going to go get it. So I, as a very good co-pilot, she walks out, and I'm watching her the whole time. So I can be like, it's on your right. Because she's less worldly savvy. The architecture doesn't line up with her. Meanwhile, I'm looking back at my screen because I'm calling out the nurse over to me, and I'm waiting until the dialogue timer reaches the very last thing before I say, "Can I have a glass of water?" Just so that I can give her like as much time. And I'm being like really accessible here. So she walks. And there's a guard. Like his vision cone's like right at her, but she's like behind a filing cabinet. So I have to like knock on the window behind the guard, and he spills his coffee, and he's all like, "Yeah, you scared me." Meanwhile, Bailey crawls past the guard, and then, like clockwork, she walks too close to the janitor who's fixing the circuit breaker, and he turns around and he's like, "Oh, you can't be here, guard," and then fail state. But we just get right back into it, right back to before the guard splashed the coffee on him when I distracted.
Okay.
So that forgiving fail state allowed her to proceed with the rest of the game. I wouldn't say anxiety-free, but manageably so. And that's why we had a great time. At one point, we got into a rhythm. It does every fun thing you would hope it would do with the 2-player mandate.
Okay.
I will say this. Emperor's New Groove. I'll just leave it at that.
Did it ever require both of you to have your hands on the same controller at the same time?
No.
Okay.
No. Separate controllers. I would recommend it. You don't need to be a savvy games player. The plot is just so boring.
Oh.
But yeah, because it's like, we got to get out. We were screwed by the same guy. And then it does a cutaway to the same guy. And he's busy like selling a diamond to some Saudi princes. And they're like, "No, too much. We can only afford this much diamond." And the guy who put the playable characters in jail is like, "Suit yourself," and just shoots them. And it's like, oh no. So A Way Out, because I'm not going to be able to play It Takes Two with Bailey.
Because she
Haze
won't
Light's next game that was revealed during the Game Awards.
Yeah.
Because it has platforming in it.
Oh, too high of a barrier?
I was watching intently for like the first 10 seconds of the thing. And I was like, ooh, that art style is not doing it for me. Ooh, that gameplay is not doing it for her.
And then it's out.
But A Way Out is, yeah. A Way Out has plenty of time for QTEs. It just rubs your back with these nice co-op. Like, I was handing bed sheets. I was handing bed sheets to Bailey, who was like hiding them behind a locker, and I was having a great time. We haven't finished it yet. I'm like, we really have to be 2/3 of the way through.
Oh, yeah. How long has it taken you approximately?
It's taken us, it took us like
multiple sessions.
We took a break in between, like as soon as we broke out, but a spoiler, you do find a way out. And in the most irritating way possible.
Yeah.
So the character select screen, both characters are in like a helicopter. And the narrative is presented in such a way that the two characters are reminiscing about how like, "Oh, it was tough back there, but I got us out." "What do you mean you got us out? I did all the planning." And I'm like, wait, we're just acknowledging the fact that they do get out 2 hours before the plan unfolds? Why would you spoil something like that? Both Bailey and I were like, what is this presentation? But I would say like we're like 4 hours in.
Okay. The story is a snooze fest, but you really like it for its ample opportunities to cooperate in the gameplay.
Yeah, there's a moment that I kind of didn't like where one player has the flashlight and then the other player has to walk through this too dark to perceive things. So you kind of got to shine like, oh, that's the valve I have to turn kind of thing. It gets to a point where it's so dark that if the flashlight is not in my half of the screen, you don't know where you are.
Oh, okay.
Which is kind of annoying. It's kind of like criticism levied at BioShock, where it goes pitch black, set for your reticle, and then the lights come back on and the enemies flood in.
Okay.
It robs you of the agency, but the person who's robbing you of the agency is the one who's using the flashlight to shine it over there, and it's like, no, wait, I'm lost. So maybe that's interesting. Real Tales of Despero.
I don't know what that is.
You remember the book Tales of Despero, right?
No.
It's the rat.
We can move on.
Oh, Man, you hate non sequiturs. Okay, time for the main event.
Oh, the main event. Okay.
And I gamed a lot, Chris.
Yeah, you
I
did.
gamed so much that my Xbox controller's right trigger has become squeaky.
Heath has left the room, guessing he's about to grab the squeaky controller. He's hurrying back. Let's hear the squeaking, Heath. Ooh.
Here's the left.
The left is silent.
Here's the right.
You know, Heath, this same thing just happened to my controller.
No way.
I was hammering the left trigger too hard and too frequently in Hades. It pushed it over the edge. It's squeaking now.
Yeah, what do I do? I need some WD-40. Anyway, I beat Death Stranding.
Yeah.
I put 73 hours into it.
Whew.
Yeah, I liked this game.
All right.
Despite all odds.
73 hours later, and you still like this game.
I've also put maybe like 50 hours into Red Dead Online.
Since when?
I've been doing it for a few episodes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just secretly.
Yeah.
You keep secrets from me, Heath?
Very few. These two games, the bottom line for people who don't want to sit through like an hour and a half conversation that we're about to have
Oh, shoot.
on games that are
What time is it?
that are dated. These are two halves of the perfect game
Oh.
that I wish I could Frankenstein together.
You want Kojima to work at Rockstar.
I have problems with Kojima.
Okay.
So Death Stranding.
Yes.
This is the game is walking. It's a gamified version of trying to bring all the groceries into the house in one trip.
It is quite literally a walking simulator in the sense that it is trying to simulate mechanically the act of walking.
Right. And I found the progression. I played it for 70 hours.
Yeah.
Some may say, how could you? It's so boring because all you're doing is traversing.
Yeah.
But I found it very rewarding to bring cargo to this person who will give me the hematic grenade upgrade and bring ceramics and steel to this fabricator so I can build the road, so I can bypass the mules who I have to contend with. And I don't have an offensive weapon at the beginning of the game until you get the bola, which shoots very nicely.
Okay.
I liked the progression. I found it so good in spite of its story.
Man, people play Kojima games for the story.
Not me.
But not you.
Death Stranding is a great game that suffers from a cancer.
Suffers from a cancer.
A cancer that I can pinpoint to an hour-long tumor at the 70-hour mark. The ending of Death Stranding is such pretty decent highs
Oh.
right next to catastrophic lows.
Okay.
And I'm not just nitpicking about the names. That's slim pickings.
Okay.
That's the part of the tumor that has metastasized to the rest of the game that you just have to breeze through.
Okay.
I was actually playing this game alongside Pat Sterzat's gameplay as sort of a chaser to get through the monologues of nonsense that build up to this tumor. Kojima's a funny guy. Kojima integrates likes as the main currency of Death Stranding. I entered the
Right.
game with 315,000 likes.
Whoa.
I got that many likes in spite of... I got that many likes by building roads, mostly.
Now, you should explain what these likes are and where they're coming from.
Oh, well, every time you place a ladder that goes on to help someone else, or a climbing anchor, or a generator to refuel their electric vehicles on their journey, they can award you with likes, which is a very modern currency, right?
But they don't have to, right?
Every time they use one of your equipments,
Uh-huh.
it automatically gives
okay.
gives a like.
And when we say they use, we're talking about real other players.
Yeah, because this is an asynchronous multiplayer experience.
Right.
I greatly benefited from a few very pivotal zip lines in the mountain levels. So I got 315,000 likes, despite you lose. I was driving my vehicle too fast this one time, and I hit one of my fellow porters, one of these NPCs that can walk through your areas that you have cleared of BTs or dispose of the mule presence.
Yeah.
The mules are the terrorists that are trying to steal your cargo.
Right.
I hit one of these friendly porters, and it deducted 10,000 likes from me. I was like, wow. Kojima, who is very anti-war, is also very anti-violence in this game. I never killed anyone, which is crazy to think about, right?
In 70 hours.
In a video game.
Yeah.
Had I killed someone, I would have had to deal with the repercussions of, if I did not dispose of their body fast enough, it would have caused a void out and created a massive crater that I would have had to deal with.
Wow. So what
geographically.
What about that one porter you ran over?
He was knocked out.
Knocked out. Okay.
I think you have to shoot someone with a gun.
All right.
Or kill them with a grenade, at which point either you lug their body to the incinerator or you have a massive impassable crater that makes it that more cumbersome to deliver cargo.
Okay. Now we're going to keep this spoiler free, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Because there's a slim chance I might play this game.
I would say you would find the progression system cool.
Okay.
Even if you only critical path it, I think you would find it cool.
I still can't believe you played this game.
But I should be there when you play it.
Yeah.
To spare you
Oh.
the word salad that is the plot.
I might be into the word salad.
No. You think that.
But I'm naive. I don't know what I'm talking about.
This is the game I have binged the hardest since Arkham Asylum.
Oh, it's been a while.
This game has 15 episodes. You're meant to put the game down after each episode and reflect on it. In fact, Norman Reedus will get tired if you run too many consecutive missions.
Interesting.
To the point where it will lock you in to a rest, button press, hold, so that Norman could lay down and regain some stamina, because otherwise you're just going to be flopping all over the place. And I would regain just enough stamina to keep him going. I should have let him rest, but I didn't, because I wanted to get to the next thing, because I knew that the next thing was going to be super cool. It was going to be like climbing anchor level 2. It was going to be chiral boots, which won't wear out as long. It was going to be the power skeleton. Ooh, so cool tools. You know, very much like Batman. Oh, I got the new Batarang. Swing. This game, I binged it way too much, but I found it very fun, and I kind of wish it had gas.
Gas?
Games as a service.
Oh.
I kind of wish that. There are preppers across America that you have to connect. You can just do their cargo as soon as you discover them and get them up to 5 stars and get all the bonuses you could ever want from them. And I would never go back to them again. The junk dealer, after I got him to 5 stars, never went back to him for the rest of the game. 30, 40 hours that I played, never went back. I kind of wish there was a daily challenges like there are in gas games, like there are in Red Dead Online.
Oh.
Because Red Dead Online will be like, skin 2 turkeys, visit a shop in Valentine, complete a bounty target with a posse member. I kind of wish there was a deliver this 200 kilos of corn to the Timefall farmers.
You want
A daily challenge in Death Stranding to make me bother to go back there to that portion of the map, which is fun to traverse.
You're looking for excuses to keep playing.
I am.
That's pretty high praise,
Yeah.
considering you've already put in so much time.
Right. And I didn't 100% the game. I did as many preppers as I could. I would do that before I did the critical path. But once I beat the game, I didn't feel the urge to go back and flesh out the rest of the preppers that I had yet to 5-star.
Okay.
And I can't say for certain why. So Red Dead Online.
Yeah.
Red Dead Online suffers. It suffers everywhere that Death Stranding succeeds, and it succeeds everywhere where Death Stranding fails.
It's the inverse.
It has that Rockstar polish. Characters are cool. You like the story.
Yeah.
There are strangers across America that have some life to them. It's like McFarlane's Ranch. You could go to this bandit with a stutter who wants you to assassinate people that made fun of him. That's like a cool character that I can get behind. Way more than Mama, who recalls her own birth.
Oh.
If you're willing to believe that. Recalls being in the womb.
Wow, that's
With her conjoined sister.
that is quite the memory.
Yeah, insane. So Red Dead Online, cool characters, but the progression system is locked by microtransactions.
Ooh.
If you want to be a bounty hunter and hunt down the worst scum of the Wild West, you have to pay 15 gold bars. You can earn gold bars by spending real money. Or you can help strangers across the country, and they'll give you gold nuggets.
Ooh.
100 gold nuggets equals 1 bar. How many nuggets will helping the McFarlanes wrangle back that horse that was stolen and bring it back to their ranch? How many nuggets do they grant you?
Hopefully a lot.
8.
Oh.
And you need 1,500 nuggets
Yeah.
to get the bounty hunter license, which then doesn't really pay that much. So if you're trying to earn the faster horse, the better gun, you're in for a long haul. I want to recall the first time a player shot me
You have notes.
in Red Dead Online.
I would assume this would have happened pretty early on.
So there's story missions in the multiplayer. This one madame, her husband was killed, and you got to find which of these 3 people killed her husband. It's going to be the last one. First of all, this mission took 5 to 10 minutes to get matchmaking off the road. I queued up with 4 randos. They all voted to skip the cutscene, so I felt obligated. That was kind of rough. The mission starts, I get on my horse. A teammate hops on my horse. His horse is right there, but he hops on mine.
He hops on Black Friday?
He hops on December.
December.
This is my first story mission in the multiplayer. So I feel really obligated to drive well to the mission objective. And I kind of tumble a little bit because it's the first mission is in a very hills and valleys type of geography.
Yeah.
Everyone has shot all the enemies at this point. So I feel like I'm letting down the team. We hog tie the target, and I take it on myself to pick up the target, throw him on my shoulder, and this is what got me through the next 30 hours of the gameplay. I put the target on my horse, and we rode like 50 feet until there was a scripted explosion that scared off my horse, so I had to proceed on foot. I hiked him over my shoulder, and I'm running. Meanwhile, 2 randos are up in front of me shooting all the banditos so that I can keep going with the football like the quarterback.
Whoa.
And go to the end zone. Very cool cinematic. I liked it a lot. I felt like I was contributing. It was really cool. And then it got to the morality point where the bandits like, look, I'll give you money. Just tell the sheriff that you killed me, and here, take my iconic hat, put it on that dead guy, and pass it off as me. I'll never kill anyone again. And we all voted to reject the morality thing and turn him into the cops. And I leveled up to rank 7, and then I respawned in the free roam world, because when you're doing a mission, you're not doing it in like the open world. It's like a
separate instance.
Yeah. I respawn in the free roam world with one of my teammates. We're idle for a few seconds, and then I begin running toward my horse. Suddenly, I collapse, and it says that I died of a headshot from this player. Did I name that player? I forgot the name. Sorry.
You were going to call him out.
I know Kid Money invited me to my first posse, and the posse system, it's not for me. I don't really have friends to play this game with. So I died.
What happened?
The first time I died, you can parlay, which is to like forgive them in case you egg them on or something. You can press charges, which I think increases their bounty and lets other players know that they're hostile so that they can stay away.
So this was just a rando who shot you, not one of the teammates you had been collaborating with?
No, that was him.
He betrayed you?
One of the people that I played with on the very first story mission of Red Dead Online. As soon as we exited the mission, he headshots me from the back.
He was on horseback protecting you as you carried the hostage.
Yeah.
Only to betray you at the first instance he could.
So quick, my trust was lost in humanity.
Did you press charges?
I did press charges, yes.
Did you ever get any explanation?
No repercussions later on. That's just how it be in the Wild West.
Damn.
I've also been wary of other players when I've been doing my trade runs. So I got 15 gold bars after weeks of toiling. And now that's not weeks, days of toiling. And I didn't buy a bounty hunter's license initially. I bought a butcher's table, which allows you to bring pelts back to Crips, your would-be home base caretaker.
Okay.
And you bring him pelts. He slathers them up so that they're nice and good for the general store. And then you embark on a trade mission where you load it into a cart and and then you take it across the map. And depending on how far you want to go, the more money you get. And that's like an actual source of money. If I collect a basic bitch bounty hunter mission, I get like $11 to $20, depending on if I bring him back dead or alive. If I complete a small delivery, I get like $70.
Whew.
And then I can funnel that money toward getting a bigger wagon. I've purchased the largest wagon at this point. I can deliver 100 goods, which is worth $525. That's how I bought my mega horse.
Yeah.
Here's what's interesting. The delivery is boring because you're just across the Wild West.
Yeah, if only there was a delivery game that did it better.
I am digging the story in Red Dead Online and hating the traversal delivery.
Yes.
Whereas in Death Stranding, I'm loving the traversal and I hate the story.
They really are two halves to a whole.
I just need to Frankenstein these franchises so I can have Red Death Stranding online. The homunculus of fun. In conclusion, I just wish that they were combined.
Yeah.
And here's what's really interesting. In Death Stranding, you know the premise with the rain?
No.
One symptom of the apocalypse in Death Stranding is timefall, which is rain that ages anything it touches.
Okay.
So if you were to have a drop on your hand, there would be a wrinkly spot like you were an octogenarian where it hit. Yeah. So it would rain on my cargo and age the containers that protected the sweet, sweet delivery stuff.
Yeah.
And you have to like plan accordingly and seek refuge. Otherwise, your goods are going to be destroyed. It would rain in Red Dead Online, and I would get anxious thinking of my cargo that doesn't exist. Also, in Death Stranding, where you walk experiences natural erosion, and where other people walk experience natural erosion. These footpaths will be generated where the online asynchronous community has tread before.
I see.
I wish that were in Red Dead Online. Everyone's doing these bounty hunter missions and these trading missions. I wish that these paths would emerge along where the actual player traffic is. That's a cool thing that Kojima did.
It is pretty cool. Well, this was a long conversation, Heath. I might have looked bored. I was not bored. I thought this was pretty interesting, these comparisons you've drawn.
If I were to do it all over again, I would try to pace myself with Death Stranding. I had all the fun I wanted to, and I don't regret it. I don't recommend the game because I can't guarantee that the person listening to this would be willing to write off Kojimaness as comedic, farcical, what have you.
Okay.
Even you.
Even me.
I'm searching for a litmus test to be like, if you find this charming, I will permit you to play Death Stranding. But what is that?
What is that?
Probably like a David Lynch episode.
Okay.
Probably watch Twin Peaks. Probably play Deadly Premonition.
That's probably a good touchstone.
Yeah. Now you see it.
Now I see it.
Yeah.
And now I see that we should take a break.
Was I going on too long?
And when we return, it'll be time to talk Game Award announcements and winners. We'll see you then. And we're back. And this is where you'll put it.
This is where I'll put it.
Yeah.
So we are post the Game Awards, and we are post, 2020 is over.
It's rapidly coming to a close.
Right. And we watched the Game Awards less than 24 hours ago.
Yes.
So we ought to, now while it's fresh in the mind, recount our favorite and / most surprising moments from the show.
Sure, that will be fun.
One of my favorite moments was when I called out the monster knocking down the column in the Back for Blood trailer.
That was the most energized you were all show. You screamed when he knocked that pillar over.
Well, because he moved the big chain link fence, like the 50-foot square.
And that already had you excited.
I was like, ooh, the implications of a interactable environment. And then he was walking eerily close to that column. And I was just scintillating with
You
the
called it.
Possibilities.
Yeah.
So that was my only good moment. I didn't care about Mass Effect.
Uh-huh. Fair.
Also, Mass Effect.
I mean, all right, so you're calling out the moment that I screamed for.
I mean, we didn't care about Smash as much as I wish we did.
Yes, so Sephiroth.
We should just call him
Sephiroth.
We should just call him Dark Cloud because he's like Dark Pit, but for Cloud.
Dark Cloud. Yeah,
Sephiroth.
He's in Smash.
He killed Mario.
I loved how edgy the silhouette of him just skewering Mario was until it reveals it's just his overalls that he's skewered. What a shock that was.
Yeah. It quickly became a meme template of like, who's on the sword?
Oh, okay.
But we didn't care about that.
No, not particularly.
There's no pop-off.
We did care about fully voiced Disco Elysium, though.
Yes.
Which is coming in March.
So much so that I went to the Steam page for it, thinking that it was already out.
Oh.
March is when it's coming.
Right.
And here's the question. It's fully voiced.
Yeah.
All the dialogue.
So they claim.
Including the 26
surely.
memory personalities?
Yeah.
Awesome.
It's got to be the case.
I want to hear how nerdy Encyclopedia is and how coked out of their mind electrochemistry is.
Those voice actors would have the liberties to really have fun with those deliveries.
I hope it's good voice actors and not Eastern Bloc. That's sorry for being racist, but I hope it's not a bunch of Latvians. That's
wow. Now you're getting specific.
I can't. I'm doubling down on by mistake.
So yeah, that'll be just a free update called the Final Cut.
Estonia, wasn't it?
I think that's where the developers are from.
Okay.
Has some new quests in it. It also coincides with the first time this game is releasing on consoles. So maybe there'll be a whole new wave of disco fans out there.
No.
What? No?
Despite the massive install base, it's not a consoler's game. Unless you put it on a pass of some sort.
Oh, maybe like a free service you already subscribe to.
Maybe, yeah.
I feel like its reputation has been simmering and building over the past year and a half. And by the time it arrives on consoles, people will have heard of it through word of mouth, and we'll want to play it.
I'm not eager to play it again. I'm itching to play it again. You see, there's a difference there.
This is interesting. You are itching to play it again because of the voice acting.
I want to hear all 26. Why? Because I panned it so critically.
Yeah, you didn't even include it in like your favorite 10 games of the year last year.
It didn't. Not even that?
It didn't chart, no.
Man, this is like how, like, right after you graduate high school, you're like, glad I'm never going back there again. But then a decade later, you're like, oh sweet, fun, rose-tinted.
You only remember the good parts.
Yeah. Maybe that's happening with Disco Elysium. That happens with me a lot.
Okay. Maybe my enthusiasm partially rubbed off on you.
No? Actually, yeah, absolutely. Your enthusiasm rubbed off on me. Yeah.
You were so opposed to that idea at first.
For certain, if I play it again, I'll have way more to report back.
Okay.
So that was a huge pop-off.
For us, yeah.
For me, Vin Diesel playing Dino Fighter.
In Arc 2? That whole trailer, the only thing going through my mind is, this isn't Horizon, right? And it wasn't, but
thankfully,
it was eerily close.
Prehistoric with technology.
And even some of the like face paint,
blue face
paint is very reminiscent of Horizon Zero Dawn.
But like awful comedic timing.
Yeah, and like some stilted fight choreography that seemed relatively low budget compared to like a first party Sony game.
Not 60 seconds after a matriarchal figure got chomped by a velociraptor, I thought.
It was like a T-Rex, something big.
Did she get bit by a dino or slashed by a barbarian?
I think she was straight up devoured.
Yeah, like she saves the young child, who is the one, no doubt, because doesn't she have like a rock in her arm? Yeah.
Maybe. Vin Diesel's the one.
You were too busy looking at big cue ball Vin Diesel because you're such a Riddick fan.
No.
Oh. So not 60 seconds after that young child is saved by the sacrifice of one of the women of the clan, she's going nana boo boo to like the barbarians who are getting chased down by the dino, and I was like, this is the most ludonarratively dissonant thing I've ever seen in this show.
It was just tonally very inconsistent.
It was so weird. Do I own Ark?
Maybe.
On Steam?
If you own it, I guarantee it would be on Epic, probably.
Oh, you're right. I do
own
Ark.
You do own it.
I've never installed it.
And I'm guessing you still don't care to.
Not until episodes like 70s or 80s.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's how I plan things.
Far in advance.
Right.
And then after that weird trailer, they announced like an animated TV show of Ark, which talk about a niche video game to get turned into an animated series.
A whole cinematic universe for this, what I thought was a Minecraft clone.
Right. It's definitely not that. Is there a big Ark install base that we don't know about? I know one of my former coworkers, his son was big into Ark, but that's my only point of reference for Ark Survival Evolved.
Is Ark the game where everyone starts with a big boulder and you smash it to gain craftable materials?
I think so.
And then you build the tools?
It's definitely a survival-esque game.
Multiplayer adventure?
Yeah.
Like an H1Z1 proto battle royale, rock'em sock'em?
That mishmash of words sounds somewhat accurate in my mind.
I think at least one of those buzzwords was right.
Yeah. Shotgun approach. Yeah, that was Ark.
Moving right along.
Yeah, this is a very scattered approach.
Well,
We're just going off the cuff.
I need you to help me remember, because the show itself, you want to go, a buzzword that you love to say is high level.
Yeah.
The show itself, much better than last year's. The 2019 Game Awards suck.
Yeah, I'm a little hazy on my memory, but you're bringing them back. It was kind of an awkward show, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, last year's was bad. This year's was good. Still very, and Jeff Keighley kept saying, oh, you could play these games right now, a big festival, which kind of rubbed me the wrong way, looking back on it. Is kind of like, this is one big commercial. it would seem.
It always has been one big commercial, which I've kind of just accepted at this point.
Uh-huh.
Initially, it did kind of rub me the wrong way the first few years, where this is like the time where we should be honoring what's come before, not looking ahead at what's still coming next year.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, I don't think they could secure the funding for such an elaborate show without all the advertisements. So it's just kind of
At least we got Whooper Watch out of it.
the Pokemon Go thing. There were like 3 of those.
There was an unnecessary number of Pokemon Go in 2020. Could you imagine that? What generation of Pokemon have they gotten to in Pokemon Go?
You're asking me to guess?
Yeah, I guess.
Maybe they're on Gen 5 now.
I think they're on the one where the grass one is the snake. Generation 6 has come out.
Okay. But just recently.
How many more gens they got left?
4.
They got 2 more.
Oh.
We're on Gen 8.
Okay.
I think. Let's not check that.
Sure. We'll just leave it to people's imagination.
So still, like Pokemon Go in 2020, like, I guess the kids are still playing it, even though it's very not COVID friendly.
Oh, yeah. Not the environment you'd want to play it.
Despite their best efforts. They did try to do long distance stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
A couple other things worth mentioning. We probably don't care too much about this, but we finally know what Microsoft's new studio, The Initiative, is working on. They're rebooting Perfect Dark, which
Yes.
we haven't played.
No, but that's the game that was also with GoldenEye.
Yeah, same developer, Rare.
Okay.
And yeah, probably similar gameplay too, because they were both N64 first-person shooters.
Split screen 4-player like
Deathmatch,
in the
yeah.
dorms.
In the dorms, local co-op.
No doubt. Historically significant.
Yes. And it's been a long time since we've seen a Perfect Dark game. So long that I haven't bothered to play any of them. It looks darker, maybe? Perfect Dark is darker.
Oh.
I don't have much to say about Perfect Dark.
Then we will move on to Fortnite became Smash.
Oh, because it has even more crossovers.
Name a character that's not in Fortnite yet.
We're running out of options.
Arson Corsa. Who's the main character of Dishonored?
Corvo Atano.
Yeah, what did I call it? Arson Corso?
You know, I actually thought that's what you were alluding to.
He's not in Fortnite yet. Dude, Fortnite has all the Star Wars, all the Marvel, all the X-Men, all the Batman, and Kratos, and not Minecraft. Master Chief.
Yeah. So Master Chief is now in Fortnite.
Enormous. This was a big deal.
Yeah, I'd say so. It's a strange deal because they really leaned into the red versus blue marketing, right?
Oh, that was weird. Yeah, that was weird.
Which,
no one listening to this show has ever heard of red versus blue.
Some have, but probably none of Fortnite's main demographic has heard of red versus blue.
This is their introduction to it. They're going to find it weirdly anachronistic. They're going to find it as weird as like black and white movies.
Is red and blue ongoing?
No. Well, if you notice, there was a sticker on the back of the Master Chief cardboard cutout that said red versus blue 0.
Oh.
Which made me think that's like the newest installment of the series. But no, machinima. The word machinima, which I'll define for our listeners, is films produced in-game engines.
Yeah.
Using characters you'll recognize. Halo was the most popular machinima game next to Dead Space.
Dead Space.
I don't know. I don't know any other games that did actual machinima.
Okay.
You never watched a single machinimus.
I'm sure I have, but
what's the singular version of the word machinima?
it might be the same.
Machinimam.
I was never really into those.
Neither are the Fortnite base, but Fortnite I challenge you to guess which franchise is coming to Fortnite next. My guess, like Sesame Street. Like Cookie Monster. No, they never give Cookie Monster a gun. They'd give Kratos a gun, though, which is funny.
So Fortnite aside,
Moving on.
they showed a new trailer for Dragon Age 4. which was very pretty. Confirmed more Solus in there, but ultimately there was no date, and they didn't really reveal anything fans didn't already know. So kind of an underwhelming trailer, I would say. But visually, looks great.
Yeah.
Can't wait for that. And then more BioWare news. So the last announcement of the show was there's more Mass Effect coming. And that's great. I screamed for that when they showed the N7 logo. But I'm trying to keep expectations in check, because if Dragon Age 4 doesn't have a date, this game is years away. I'd say like 2025 would probably be my guess.
Wow, that's lofty.
Because Dragon Age 4 is probably not next year if they weren't willing to put a date on it. So it's probably 2022, and then another 3 years brings us to 2025.
Why would they do that to themselves?
They
just cyberpunked themselves.
Kind of. I mean, BioWare's in some dire straits.
I might have kids by the time Mass Effect gets rebooted.
It's a ways off.
That's insane.
I mean, they're not exactly coming off of some real winners here, with their previous two releases being Anthem and Andromeda.
Wowie.
So I'm not going to let myself get excited for this until I see how good Dragon Age 4 turns out. If that comes out fine, then I'll permit myself some hype here. I will say, they show Liara, one of the main characters of the first 3 games.
Blue girl.
Yeah, sorry. She's like trekking through a snowy mountain and finds presumably
the Citadel.
Presumably just like a dead corpse of
Reaper.
Of a N7 uniform.
Okay.
So that means this one, unlike Andromeda, which took place in a separate galaxy, this seems like a continuation of the first 3 games.
But I thought that you couldn't do that. I thought they exhausted it, and that's why they had to go to Andromeda.
So the issue that arises is, depending on how your trilogy wrapped up, the state of your universe could be very different depending on which of your 3 colored endings you chose.
Red, blue, and green?
Yeah, red, blue, and green.
I nailed that.
So I guess they'll just have to canonically pick one. If the BioWare dev team came up to me, Chris, you get to make one wish. If they said, my desire is their command, I would have wanted to see returning squad mates from the first trilogy, which seems like we're getting that if they're showing Liara. So I'm thrilled about that.
But how would you do that?
How would you do what?
Sandwich this in with a trilogy.
I'm assuming they're going to pretend like Andromeda didn't happen, because it's so disconnected.
This is post 3, you're saying?
Post 3.
Okay.
Technically, Andromeda is like post 3, because it took them so long to reach the Andromeda galaxy.
Mm-hmm.
And those are separate characters, completely divorced from the events of Mass Effects 1, 2, and 3.
Right.
So for all intents and purposes, you can just ignore that.
Yeah, I'm not talking about Andromeda. Yeah.
Okay. So you can just pick up where 3 left off. I don't know
where did 3 left off?
3 pretty much wrapped up every story thread that existed.
Yeah.
So they're going to have to come up with completely new material.
Okay.
But in my mind, Mass Effect is its characters. So I don't care what they're doing. I don't care if Mass Effect 5 is...
We had a distress beacon over here.
...is just... They're rebuilding the plumbing infrastructure of the universe. But if you get to do it with the cast of Mass Effect 2 and 3, I'm in, because I love those characters so much. Doesn't matter what they're doing.
How many characters are there?
Well, I guess it depends how many of them survived your 2 playthrough.
Which one of them is Martin Sheen?
I don't know.
The elusive man?
Oh, he's great.
Isn't he voiced by Martin Sheen?
So you knew the answer to your own question.
Yeah, I did.
You know, there's all sorts of
another wish?
Canonical inconsistencies they'll have to account for somehow, because like almost any of your squad mates could have died in 2, which means how do you bring them back?
They could have died in 1.
They could have died in 1, right.
Every character that could be brought back could have died.
Pretty much.
With the exception of the player character.
Shepard?
But even he.
Shepard could die in 2, and then you can't import your save into 3.
Oh, that would complicate things.
Yeah. All right, so that's going to be messy. But they have like 5 years to figure it out, so let's give them some time.
All right, and let's give Heath some time. What do you want to talk about?
Since we just wrapped up Game Award announcements, we should probably at least touch on the award part of the Game Awards. Heath, what were the biggest snubs in your mind? What were the surprises about who won what award? Was there anything of note here?
Oh, you're going to make me...
We can look at the winners if we want.
I have to.
Unsurprisingly, Last of Us Part 2 won a lot of awards. 6, I think. Big surprises, I guess Best Ongoing threw me for a loop. Best Ongoing went to No Man's Sky this year. Which seems like it gets nominated every year as just like an afterthought, but it won this year. Man, that would have been my 5th and final choice for predicting the winner of that category. What came out for this game this year?
Oh, yeah, they added...
I know it got an update, right?
A ton of stuff.
But I feel like there have been bigger No Man's Skies updates in the past that it did not receive this level of recognition for. But maybe I'm off base. So that was a surprise for me. Oh, I was so confident about Games for Impact going to Spirit Fair. I let out a cry when it was Tell Me Why. But you were confident about that.
Yeah, dude. Trans people. My horse to victory.
You need to watch out for all the Eastern Bloc folks you've offended.
All of the... God forbid you're a non-cis Eastern Bloc.
Estonian.
Hey, innovation and accessibility. They did a hot sizzle reel of all the games and the ways in which they make things, guess what? Accessible.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Last of Us 2 makes it so that the characters and like the enemies have big shady outlines to pop out of the background.
Did you watch the Game Maker's Toolkit video today?
No, there was a day?
So, yeah, today he went over how accessible were games in 2020.
Damn it.
And then basically it blew my mind the granularity of options that exist in Last of Us Part 2.
I was busy building my couch.
Across the board. Yeah. So Last of Us Part 2 is like the most accessible game ever. There are just built in right to the settings all the tools you need for a completely blind person to play the game unassisted. You can press the buttons at any point where a narrator will read out to you like your health, your ammo, like all the info you need to like play the game without even looking at the screen. It is incredible.
That's fascinating.
It was fascinating.
The mind races. It's still timed, right?
That's worth like looking up on YouTube, like watching a person who is physically blind playing through the game with the built-in dev accessibility tools.
Yeah, and this was a no clip? What did you say?
It's a Game Maker's Toolkit.
Okay, thank you.
My fave.
Everyone loves them.
You doubted the Among Us hype.
I did.
But it won its 2 categories. Congrats to Inner Sloth. They're just a team of 4 people. And then you were weirdly salty about the Microsoft Flight Simulator winning Best Sim Strategy Game.
I was salty about that. I was salty about Mortal Kombat 11 winning Best Fighting Game, even though it was nominated last year and it like nothing added.
Oh, I mean, some stuff got added to the ultimate version.
Yeah,
quote unquote.
It's just so disrespectful to think these strategy games have to be overshadowed by a flight simulator. Imagine you're judging like food.
Okay.
Imagine if you're judging like steaks.
I think I'm picking up what you're putting down.
And the winner of the category ends up being surf and turf. That's not just a steak. That's cheating.
Yeah. Or like it's a hamburger that wins. It's still beef, but it's not a steak.
Like, what's the best kind of nut? You got cashew, almond, macadamia, and what ends up winning the category? Pecan pie. It doesn't fit. You're cheating.
One of these is not like the others.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then where do you put Microsoft Flight Simulator?
Sports racing.
Oh, yeah. I guess sport racing sim kind of.
You're
makes
driving
more
a plane.
sense. You are driving a plane.
That's what they call pilots, the drivers of planes.
Oh, I guess there was one snub. I thought Doom Eternal should win something, but it didn't get any awards.
Yeah.
Didn't get anything. That's rough.
Persona 5 also
Yeah.
absent.
Yeah, kind of. Well,
What do you want to talk about?
we should talk about the fact that despite the fact you were leading the predictions in our little game here for most of the award ceremony, I ended up coming ahead.
Oh, you're dying to tell me this.
You had 11 correct predictions, Heath, to my 13.
Damn.
I cinched it at the end.
It's ironic that had I picked Among Us for both of its categories, we would have tied.
We would have tied, which would have been interesting.
Yeah.
Which means I will be assigning you one game to play over the course of 2021. Last year, when I gave you 3 choices of games to choose among.
The choices were Nier Automata, Dishonored or Dishonored 2 or Death of the Pathless.
Death of the Outsider.
What did I call it? Death of the Pathless.
I wouldn't recommend playing that one as your first Dishonored game.
Oh, no, because I need to learn the rats first.
Of course. And the third game you could have played,
Witcher 3.
Witcher 3. And as an aside there, Heath, I mean, 2020 is winding down. You've got like 2.5 weeks. You're going to play those games?
You know what? Your Christmas present's coming up.
Sounds
In
good.
the form of me talking about games you like. And then my belated Christmas present to Alexis is talking about the games she likes.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Oh, I know which one.
Because you know it's on Game Pass.
Moonlight.
Dragon Age Inquisition.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or it's coming the 15th, I thought.
Oh, shoot.
Right?
Well, she'll be hyped for that.
Yeah.
Anyway, my method last year to assigning these games was I just picked like favorite Chris games and then handed them off to you. This year, after...
When did you give them to me? Like February?
No. It was...
When did we do this?
It was probably in our final episode of 2019.
Oh my God.
I mean, don't feel too bad. It took me 11 months to play your game.
Fair enough, yeah.
And after after waiting those 11 months, dreading playing these choices I was not looking forward to, I said, I don't want to do that to Heath, so I have custom tailored these 3 choices to be things I think are pretty appealing to you. So, you played BioShock this year.
Oh.
I figured why not allow you to follow it up with BioShock Infinite. So that is option number 1. I'd be so curious to get your take about like the final several scenes of that game.
Oh, yeah.
There's something. So that's option 1. Option 2 is last year you played and quite enjoyed Transistor. So option 2 is just
any
Supergiant game. Yeah, any of them.
It has to be Hades, though.
Yeah, I'd be totally cool with that. Pyre's great. Maybe don't bother with Bastion. It's fine. It's not their best work. So two good options for you so far. And last but not least, I don't expect you'll go with this one, but it's fun regardless. Since a golden opportunity is coming.
Golden Sun.
So next year, Mass Effect Legendary remasters are coming out.
That's what I'm supposed to wait for.
Why not have you maybe try a Mass Effect game now that a new re-release is coming out that hopefully fixes a lot of the jank with that first game.
Yeah, and the end of that third game.
So those are your options. A Mass Effect game, a Supergiant game that's not Transistor, or BioShock Infinite.
These are generous picks, Chris.
Well,
Thank
you're welcome.
you.
And I figured, hey, our scores were so close, I didn't want to like rub it in since you narrowly lost to me. In my heart, I thought I had lost until I won.
What would I have made you play?
Yeah, for fun. What
if
would you
I
have made
won?
you play?
Probably Among Us. Probably I would have forced an Among Us play, and then Civ 5.
Oh, yeah.
And then Death Stranding.
Okay. Those would have been fine picks. Cool. Well, Heath, we've been recording for quite some time
Yeah,
now.
I'll let you go.
It's been a fun episode. We're probably only doing one more that's releasing after this one in calendar year 2020.
Yeah. Over 2 years, we've made 57 episodes. That's not the right math.
2019 ended with episode 30, meaning we released 26 that year,
Okay.
which comes out to exactly one every other week.
Which I liked.
And then this year we got ambitious because we would be ending at 57,
Yeah.
which
26
30
minus 56.
plus 26 should have only brought us to 56. So somehow we snuck in one extra episode this year.
Merry Christmas to you, listener.
All right, that math was probably not very exciting to listen to. But what's more exciting is that people can write us emails, and they do so by sending them to mobiustubespodcast@gmail.com.
That's Mobius Tubes Podcast at gmail.com.
Haven't received any since we did that big mailbag
Don't
episode.
tell them that.
Well, now they'll feel guilty and write us.
Okay, yeah. Give us the Christmas present of content.
Yeah, if you want your email to be the last one read of 2020, get it in. And I will be getting out of your house because it's time to leave.
Okay. Thanks, Chris.
Bye.